All right, here we go. We're back. Here we go. We're back at part two of Hair of the Dog's questions about death and dying. Mainly talk about some of my experience of what I went through. Oh, what was you talking about? Oh, yeah. So as we got to the front gate at Camp Cedar, about 2:30 in the morning, the KBR guys was saying over the loudspeaker. You can hear them right at the gate because we were just right there. And they said something about incoming fire or something, and talking about everybody get to the bunkers and the barriers. And these rounds came in. Boom, boom. 3 rounds came right in. One of them landed right next to us, approximately 50 yards away. So there was a big spark, a boom. There was 2 more right behind us, not directly on our vehicle, but it was close enough to throw dirt and debris, mud and stuff, dried mud, rocks, on our vehicles. You can hear it going ting, 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 ting. I saw the 2 foreign national guys jump out of the truck in front of us. They were driving the line hauler, and they started running towards the barriers. They just jumped out and then ran, and then the other guy ran in the front and went into the barriers. The guy up in the tower, he ducked, because there was lights everywhere. By the way, this is 2:03 in the morning, 2:30. So that was like the very first close experience I got. We drove in, and the KBR people, and we talked to the guys in the Massachusetts National Guard that was based there. And I talked to a couple of these guys the following day, since I'm National Guard too, and we're exchanged stuff. I asked them how many times monthly do they get incoming fire, and they say at least 4 or 5 times a month. So during that night, apparently Scania and Buka also got 3 rounds right about the same time we got our 3 rounds. And from what I was told later on, that 2 of the foreign nationals in Buka were hit, and they were killed in action. They were killed. I think they said they were from Ethiopia. I'm not really sure, because we got foreign nationals everywhere. We had guys in Ethiopia in Camp Cedar. So anyway, that was the first weird close experience of whatever, death and dying, I guess you want to call it. For the next, I went back to Kuwait, of course, 5 days later. So I started marking off how much time I got before I can qualify for my Iraq campaign medal. But roughly about a week later, I got another opportunity to go up north, and this time I was going to be sitting in the back of a 1114 up armored Humvee, and I'll be switching places with the gunner. When he gets too tired, he just drops down inside, and I get up in his gun, and I take some time up there, because these missions, they take 12, 13, 14 hours. So, you're going to be up there in that gun doing this for 8 or 9, 10 hours on the road, and you're going to get tired. So here's an early picture of me back in the day. I was doing a commo check. Notice I am not wearing my body armor yet, because we were still doing another commo check after we was inside Camp Cedar. So we just had to switch out the headset and had the radios worked on. So you'll notice that. And no, I did not go out the main gate without my body armor. This is before we started rolling. So before any of you guys jump all over my ass, this is before we rolled out. Anyway, so we rolled out, and nothing really happened. It was pretty cool. We went through the Sunni Triangle of Death, passed up some EOD guys on the way, and apparently they were taking care of an IED they found, and everything was all hunky-dory. We went to Camp Cedar, dropped off some whites, which is the line haulers, and then we took off again, and we went to Scania and dropped off some more vehicles, camped out for about 3 or 4 days. We turned around and drove back. Now, on the way back, we was hearing radio chatter. Remember with the radio headset? We heard radio chatter that some guys in another convoy got hit by an IED just close by us. So we drove by, and there was a couple of damaged vehicles alongside the road. And, everything, I guess, we just kept going. Our convoy just kept going because they were stopped. We're a disabled vehicle. So we just kept on rolling. So when we went back, again, I went back to my normal duties because I'm a sergeant. I'm an E5, and I am in charge of some people. So we go and do our normal duties back in Kuwait, and then go back out on another mission. So we went out on another mission, and this time I rode inside of 1117. Okay, not 1114, 1117. That is the ASB vehicle. And boom! Boom. These guys fucking got hit. They were in a convoy in front of us. Roughly about maybe 4 or 5 miles. This happened on January 30th, 2008. There's me pointing to some of the IED damage on this vehicle. It took an IED. And this is at Camp Cedar. So anyway, so I went, oh man. So we had to drive back. After we dropped off what we had to do, we drove back. So I went over to the motor pool and we picked up the wrecker. And then the following day, we drove up with another convoy to pick this vehicle up and bring it back. And then they're going to take the vehicle from Camp Virginia and take it to Ala Saline, where they're going to repair the vehicle. And by the way, nobody was hurt, but everybody's ears are deafened. The 4-man crew received CIBs for this, for that attack. Naturally, we didn't get anything. So anyway, roughly about a month and a half later, my first combat action happened. There's me. And there's Guevara. By the way, Guevara was he was killed after we came back from Iraq. He was jogging and somewhere in L.A. and a lady hit him and killed him. It's a shame to go through all that shit. He went through 3 deployments as well, and he died. He was killed. Anyway, these are the type of vehicles we were driving, and I was up in the turret of one of these vehicles. And as the convoy was going, we were the vehicle in the back. We were the last vehicle out of 4 Humvees or gun trucks. I believe we had 1 ASB. Driving along. We have our intervals. We got the Dukes down, the Duke and the Rhinos. The Rhino is that long metal pole with that little hot box in front of the vehicle with the little computer inside the vehicle going dee 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 dee, just detecting stuff, and it helps try to jam or blow the IED up before you run into it. And in the back they had the Duke, which is this long tube that goes sticking straight up. And what it does, it causes a bubble around the vehicle. So that way when these guys used to use controllers and telephone remotes to blow off IEDs, this would mess up their signal. We was driving along. It was about maybe 11 in the morning. Out of nowhere, boom, 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 boom. We received gunfire roughly about maybe 100 yards. I mean, by the time we got there, it was 100 yards maybe to my 11 o'clock. They came out, whoever it was, these 2 guys popped up behind some berms, and they started shooting at the whites, the trucks. Boom, 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 boom. And since I was on the 50 cal, I was already ready to go. I mean, I just spent my first hour in the gun because the other gunner was resting inside the vehicle. So as soon as it was bang, 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 you can see a bunch of flashes on the left-hand side, roughly 100 yards out at 11 o'clock. So I turned the gun this way at 11 o'clock as we were driving by. We're roughly going about 45 miles an hour to 50 miles an hour. Some of these trucks were not very good. They were kind of slow. We would rather go faster in Iraq than slow. But some of these whites were really not up to par for some reason, didn't drive very quickly. So I started shooting. Boom, 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 50 cal. Boom, boom, boom. boom, 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 as they were shooting and they got down. So I fired at that berm, and all I could see is dust and rocks and everything fly up. And then we passed them. I turned the gun, fired off 4 or 5 more rounds, boom, 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 and then we kept going. You could hear radio chatter going on through these headsets that they were saying that we're being engaged. We're being engaged, we're being engaged. And then the radio said, hey, is everybody all right back there? So we all radio, and yeah, and they asked who's doing all that firing. He says, who's doing the shooting? And somebody said it's Chopper 160. Chopper 160, we were suppressing fire. Our gunner was suppressing fire. And that was it. He says, anybody hit? No, we're not hit. We're still rolling. Now, as I stood up in that turret, my heart's doing this. I'm like, holy crap, dude. Finally. I'm like, wow. I mean, talk about God dang. I was like, wow. Holy cow. I said, man, that was crazy. It felt crazy. All right, we're going on to number 3, actually.